if Via Margutta became the street of cinema, it was not for coincidence. If Fellini and Giulietta Masina moved here, it was not for coincidence. There's been a very specific moment in history where everything changed for this street. There's been a very specific moment because once there was in Rome an American journalist that was sent here to make an interview to an English princess that was in Rome. But the night before having this interview, the journalist met a drunk girl or drugged or drunk or sick girl, and this journalist took care of this lady and brought her to his house and took care of her. So the morning after, he was late and couldn't arrive at this interview with the princess. So he was completely in a huge problem. And when he was finally saying goodbye to this sick lady that he helped out the night before, the lady asked for a very last favor because she told him, thank you very much, you've been my savior. I don't know how can I say thank you. Can I ask you just for one very last favor? I don't have any money on me. Can you give me a few money just to go back home? And he gives her a few money. And she asks him, can you give me your address so I can send you the money back? And he answers, the address is Via Margutta 51. That is here. So the journalist, of course, is Gregory Peck, and the princess is Audrey Hepburn, and this is where they shot Vacanze Romane, Roman holidays. And this is the moment where Via Margutta changed, because they said Via Margutta 51. And from that moment and from that movie, the idea of Italy in the world changed. So imagine what we were telling before we were speaking about the ruins of the post-World War II and the arriving of the United States. This is the symbol of United States that arrives in Italy. Hollywood goes to Italy. The American money goes to Italy to rebuild the country, and the Italian paradigm changes in the eyes of the Americans, and so in the eyes of the world. Just imagine about the Vespa. When I do this work, I always say this. I think that what Piaggio, that is the trademark now of the Vespa, I think that the Vespa has been the most successful product placement operation in the history of movies. Because if today people still buys Vespa, it's still in the inner subconscious connected to the fact of the two of them just driving around Rome. Yeah. And before I was telling you how when I was rewatching the movies, Il Divo by Sorrentino was a little bit disappointing. On the very opposite, when I watched Roman Holidays, it was maybe the movie that surprised me the more for the expectation I had and what I got from the movie. Because I, as an Italian, as a Roman, born and raised in Rome, I just had stuck in my head the idea of the cliché movie, no? Roman holidays, no? So Rome sold as a cardboard, as a post paper, let's say, no? As a postal card, and the cliché of Italy, of the Italian dream, Italian vacation. So I needed to watch the movie. And when I watched the movie, have you seen it? No? It was so interesting how, first of all, how modern it is, because it's the story of a woman figure of power, and only the way they treat the power she has in put in all the context of a very patriarchal 1950s Italy. The freedom that Audrey Hepburn represents in this movie is really ahead of times. And also video editing choices. There are some video editing choices that are really, really modern, really not Hollywood style, and the opening titles are really it's like a short documentary about Rome in these days. It's not cliché at all. The way that William Wyler chose to put the camera. If I think about To Rome with Love from Woody Allen, that was a pain in the heart for me, no? Because I used to love Woody Allen so much, and finally we had Woody Allen shooting in Italy, and the way he portrayed Trastevere and Rome was really like a soap opera, no? Like a telenovela. This guy, if you see the first 4 to 5 minutes, is like watching a proper short documentary of Rome. Like he chose not spots that are not to be taken for granted, not only the most important, Pantheon, Piazza di Spagna and so on, also all the places, and the way he chose to put the camera. And then there is also another very interesting thing. There is the relation in the 50s with drugs and with the opioids. Can you imagine the mix between a woman of power that basically get drugs, because the movie starts with she that is very anxious from all the things that she has to do in Rome, in this very huge aristocratic palace in Rome that is hosting her, and people from the team of the princess tells her, no, take this, and it has a huge impact. You have her wandering around the city.